Empress Dowager Cixi, the enigmatic ruler of Imperial China. Empress Dowager Cixi, also known as Empress Dowager Shaoqing, was a remarkable figure in Chinese history who played a significant role during the late Qing Dynasty. Born on November 29, 1835, in Beijing, she rose from relative obscurity to become one of the most influential women in China and exerted considerable power over the nation's affairs for nearly 5 decades. Cixi's early life was marked by tragedy and hardship. She was born into the Manchu Yehanara clan, which belonged to the lower ranks of the imperial bureaucracy. At the age of 16, she was selected to be one of the concubines of Emperor Xianfeng. Despite initially serving as a minor consort, Cixi caught the emperor's attention and gave birth to his only surviving son, who would later become Emperor Tongji, making her the Empress Dowager and securing her position as the ruling matriarch of China. With Emperor Tongji's ascent to the Dragon Throne, Empress Dowager Cixi served as co-regent along with Empress Dowager Qian, who was the late Emperor Xianfeng's empress. With Empress Dowager Qian's sudden death in 1851, Cixi then consolidated control over the dynasty when she installed her nephew as the Guangxu Emperor at the death of her son, the Tongji Emperor, in 1875, which was contrary to the traditional rules of succession of the Qing Dynasty that had ruled China since 1644. Cixi's first years in power were marked by struggles against the powerful conservative faction at court, known as the Eight Ministers, who resented her influence and opposed her modernizing reforms. Cixi's reign was characterized by a delicate balancing act between traditionalism and modernization. Despite her conservative upbringing, she recognized the need for China to modernize and strengthen itself to counter the encroachment of Western powers. She implemented various reforms, including the construction of modern infrastructure, the establishment of modern education systems, and the modernization of the military. One of Cixi's most significant achievements was her role in ending the long-standing practice of foot binding, which she considered barbaric. She issued an edict in 1902 calling for its gradual abolition and actively promoted the education of women. This marked a significant departure from the traditional roles of women in Chinese society and paved the way for greater gender equality in the years that followed. Cixi's reign, however, was not without its challenges. In 1894, China faced a humiliating defeat in the First Sino-Japanese War, which exposed the weaknesses of the Qing Dynasty and led to widespread calls for reform. Although Cixi refused to adopt Western models of government, she supported technological and military reforms and the self-strengthening movement. She supported the principles of the 100 Days reforms of 1898, but feared that sudden implementation, without bureaucratic support, would be disruptive and that the Japanese and other foreign powers would take advantage of any weakness. The Boxer Rebellion of 1900 further destabilized the country, as an anti-foreigner and anti-Christian movement swept across China. Cixi's response to the rebellion was initially ambiguous, as she sought to maintain a delicate balance between suppressing the Boxers and appeasing the foreign powers. Eventually, she sided with the Boxers, which led to an international military intervention and further weakened the Qing dynasty's position. A coalition of foreign troops had captured the capital, and Cixi was forced to flee the city and accept humiliating peace terms. In 1908, Emperor Guangxu passed away under suspicious circumstances, where it was generally believed that the emperor had been poisoned, but that fact was not substantiated until 2008 when a report was issued by Chinese researchers and police officials confirming that the emperor had been deliberately poisoned with arsenic. Although there is no way to tell who did the poisoning, suspicion has long been placed upon Cixi. Empress Dowager Cixi appointed her nephew, Puyi, as the new emperor, but her power was significantly diminished. On November 15, 1908, Empress Dowager Cixi died at the age of 67, just one day after Emperor Guangxu's death. The deaths of both Cixi and the Guangxu Emperor in November 1908 left the court in the hands of Manchu conservatives, a child, Puyi, on the throne, and a restless, deeply divided society. The Qing Dynasty collapsed just a few years later in 1911, marking the end of imperial rule in China. Cixi's legacy is a subject of much debate among historians. Some view her as a power-hungry despot who clung to outdated traditions, while others see her as a pragmatist who made genuine efforts to modernize China. Despite her controversial reputation, there is no doubt that she was a strong and influential figure who played a pivotal role in shaping China's destiny during a tumultuous period of its history. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.